When it comes to off-road toughness, endurance, and luxury, very few brands and models rise to the top. One of those marks is Range Rover. It released its first generation model in the late 60s, and 52 years later, it's only come out with a handful of models, and now it's only in its fourth generation. In this review, we'll take a look at the latest iteration of this famed SUV and how it performs with an electrified powertrain. This is the Range Rover PHEV, or plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, otherwise known as the P400e. Now, there's no denying that the Range Rover model is boxy, and it's no different with this hybrid unit. The rake of the front glass is low, which is good for aerodynamics and fuel efficiency. I personally like how the roof slopes down to the rear, although I would have preferred it without the shark's fin antenna, something built into the front glass for just a cleaner look. We go up front and you get a petite grille for the size of the vehicle. It's flanked by matrix LED headlamps with DRLs right here, and I like how they conceal the air vents right below it. Now, if you pull this part of the grille, this is where you find the charging port of the PHEV. The sides are plain, save for this very sharp and noticeable character line and this familiar Range Rover accent that starts from the A-pillar and terminates at the rear. And despite what seems like a very low profile, the water wading depth of the Range Rover P400e is 900 millimeters. Its tail is executed very cleanly. It's got a neat look that starts with the rear spoiler, the large back glass, and you can't miss the brand spelled out right in the middle, and the badge over here, of course. Don't forget the Vogue trim on the other side. Plus, speaking of trims, you'll appreciate these silver trims, although very discreet, make the whole package look very elegant. Finally, in true Range Rover fashion, check out these squarish tail lamps that perfectly complement the dual tailpipes. The most exciting part about this vehicle is what's actually under here. It is powered by a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine that's assisted by an 85 kilowatt electric motor. Now, forget about the fact that it's a hybrid and it has an electric motor assist. You heard me right. This is a Range Rover that has a 4-cylinder engine that has more power and torque than its big engine diesel counterpart. Max power is 404 PS and max torque is 614 Newton meters. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 6.8 seconds, all the way to a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour. These rather large but cushy seats use, check this out, Windsor leather, while the veneers shade is shadow walnut and the headliner is called Ivory Morzine. Pretty fancy names, right? The front seats are heated, along with the second row seats actually. These front seats come with a super 20-way adjustment system with memory function, while the rear seats have a power recline feature and a 60/40 split fold function. Now, this is the multi-function steering wheel, and Range Rover had their own special take on the design of the buttons. It's very fancy, don't get me wrong, but it takes a little getting used to because the icons on this panel, on actually both panels, change depending on the operation. The black paddle shifters are right here, and over there is the TFT virtual instrument cluster. Now, the best looking cabin amenity, hands down, has to be this. The 10-inch Touch Pro Duo, which is a dual screen system, as you can see right here. It's so engaging to look at. The only drawback is it could contribute to driver distraction. Audio comes out of a Meridian surround sound system with a total of 19 speakers in the cabin and a whopping 825 watts of power. Now, there are several connectivity options. There's a 12-volt outlet in the upper glove box right here, and 2 USB ports here, and another 12-volt outlet. The white part of the dashboard here could be tricky to maintain, so I suggest great care in keeping it tidy and clean. The cabin is your typical spacious 5-seater, but this baby comes with a configurable ambient lighting system, a huge panoramic glass roof, a tri-zone climate control system, and an overall luxurious feel to it. One of the things people love about this brand is the safety level it brings to the driver and the passengers. Over and above the front side, full-length side window curtain airbags, power-operated child locks, the tire pressure monitoring system, the emergency brake assist, and also the 360-degree parking aids. It also gets 360 surround cameras, clear exit detection, reverse traffic detection, and a lane departure warning system. Plus, as a capable SUV, it gets a few other extras like low traction launch, trailer stability assist, roll stability control, hill descent control, and even a twin speed transfer box. Now there's barely a grunt from the 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine, even under heavy throttle pressure, and acceleration is impressively quick for a big SUV that weighs 2.5 tons. Now power delivery is very linear. The engine puts out something like 296 horsepower, and since this is a hybrid, it gets a motor that delivers about 141 horsepower. You don't feel one kicking in and the other turning off. I mean, just combined, it gives you 404 horsepower. And like what I said, I mean, if you floor it, you feel the power immediately. Although what I like about it, and even the passengers who were with me earlier, what they liked about it was there was no head snapping motion whatsoever. Even if you go pedal to the metal, no turbo lag as well. This is a big vehicle, so it gets big brakes, and those big brakes perform spectacularly well in the P400e. From full throttle to full stop, you don't get much of the harshness and vibrations that usually come along with that kind of maneuver, right? But what's truly impressive about this, we took it up the mountains, up to Tanay, but you'll really love about it if you do get a chance to test drive it is the balance. I mean, around the twisty corners and routes, it stayed level. And I mean, I was looking at the dashboard, and it kept its balance even though I was taking, really hard turns at relatively high speeds. It really was composed and still kept its balance. All that balance translates into a quiet and calm cabin as well. I mean, it does very well in keeping the levels of noise, vibration, and harshness very low, but there is some road noise that comes in through the 21-inch wheels. It's a fairly large vehicle, categorized as a full-size SUV, but it's easy to handle. Very light feedback from the steering wheel, and seating position is excellent as well. One of those rare SUVs that allow you to really sit high. I mean, I know this is a tall vehicle, but it puts you in a very good seating position. You can see over the hood literally, and A-pillars are thin, and you can see from your peripheral, obviously the front, so you at least have a good commanding position when you're driving. As a plug-in hybrid, fuel economy of this vehicle is obviously going to be off the charts. That is to say, very, very good. 2 tests we did. We ran it on a full EV on one drive for 7 kilometers, and it consumed, check this out, 0.9 liters per 100 kilometers. And on the other drive, we ran it on normal mode, which means the vehicle itself determines whether it goes hybrid or uses the internal combustion engine, and it delivered still very good numbers, 12 liters per 100 kilometers, running about 7 kilometers at roughly 40 kilometers per hour. fans of the brand will love the fact that this model is now electrified, and it shows the willingness of Range Rover to innovate. Having a hybrid powertrain changes the way people look at this large SUV and its reputed fuel costs. Plus, it's a plug-in, so you can charge whenever you want, and even if you drain the battery, you still have the internal combustion engine to run the vehicle. If you're mulling around with the idea of going hybrid, and like most Filipinos like SUVs, but unlike most of us, you have 12 million pesos lying around, the Range Rover PHEV is definitely worth a look. I'm Eric Tipan from AutoIndustriya.com. Subscribe to our channel in case you haven't yet, and click that notification bell so you get alerted when we release new videos. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.